We're here.
We are. There's nothing up yet. We're still waiting for us on the thing.
Yeah, looks like people are there. So, from what I can see.
Andrew's not caught up with us yet.
I'm not even on this yet. Well, you know, my machine's like rubbish. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Right.
Yeah, we're off.
We're off. Hi, I'm Caroline, and this is Caro-stitched. It's lovely that you're here. Now, I've also got Jacqui here.
Hello.
You want to check the moderator?
I will. Are you not already on there as a moderator?
I don't know.
Sorry, teeth and problems. Just a little bit of housekeeping. My husband Andrew will be the moderator here, just in case anybody misbehaves, and he's so right. Obviously, I have my own school community, and Jacqui does as well. And what I'm going to do is throw it over to her, and she can let us know why she got into what she does, which is her core confidence, which is her school and her YouTube channel. I'll pass it over to her.
Hello, thank you. So, yeah, long story, very short. I was never into fitness or anything like that. And then I wasn't well, then light bulb moment, changed and retrained. So that's the long story short, but I own a fitness studio in the UK for women over 45. And what I've been doing now is translating that into my school app, which is all about core, pelvic floor and back pain and lowering our cortisol stress levels. So that's the very in a nutshell.
That's really good, yeah. And I mean, obviously, for us that crochet, we do tend to be hunched over our work and so on, much as we should sit up straight and crochet. Often we don't. And obviously, for us, it's all to do with shoulders and everything else, which really does affect us really badly.
I've got about 10 seconds behind you.
So,
yeah.
As anybody can hear, this is us just having done this for the first time. So my husband, as I say, is moderating for us. He's about 10 seconds behind, but he should catch up any minute. Yes, so that's why for us, I feel that's really important that you can obviously help us with our posture, but also our breathing and everything else. How would you let us know what we need to do to, obviously help to alleviate those?
So, I mean, this all really came about when I joined your community, Carolina, when I'd never really crocheted since I was a child. And I've started, and it made me realize how my posture changed from doing it. And my community is all about obviously the core and the posture, because without having that core strength, that good posture, we can't have good core strength. And bearing in mind that our core includes our back, it wraps all the way around us, our corset muscle, and the base of our core is our pelvic floor. So when we're hunched over and we're crocheting, then our breathing, our posture, nothing really is working as it should. So what I've been doing when I've started crocheting is every row, I then sit up and I just go into some shoulder rolls just to readjust my posture and then get back to it again. So really, for me, it was about every row, adjusting the posture, taking some nice deep inhales into the belly. I mean, because if you're rounded over, you can't do that. So, and obviously like having something on your knees to support the crochet so you're not even more hunched over. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, just some shoulder rolls to bring my shoulders back, to straighten the spine, to take some deep breaths. And that in itself is actually working the core while you're crocheting. So, that's the sort of win-win for me. You can do something you really love and work your abdominals and your back at the same time.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, that works well. And certainly, as I say, for anybody who is crocheting, it's something that you spend a long time while you're sitting, and you're not maybe able to exercise. Certainly, you have a lot of people within the crochet community that do it as a way of relaxation, but also as a form where sometimes they're maybe not able to do other things, so therefore it's something that they can occupy themselves with. So I think being able to do things while you're sitting is really important.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that was another thing that made me think when I was crocheting. One of the things I do in my community on school is reducing our cortisol levels, our stress levels. And I think, especially in women, it can be quite high. And the crocheting was actually the most relaxing thing to do. And that's where I felt that there was that link, because when our cortisol levels are high, cortisol, too much of it sits around our tummy. So that's where it likes to rest itself, round the tummy. And then that in turn can help, produce the back pain and pelvic floor issues. So, the rhythmic, repetitive pattern of the crocheting then really taps into our parasympathetic nervous system, which is where it all starts coming down into our sort of happy place.
Yeah.
And, that was the big link for me between the core and the crochet
Absolutely, yeah.
and the stress levels. And, because one of the biggest problems I see when ladies especially complain about their tummies, they're not happy with their tummy or they have back pain, it is the stress levels. They're not giving themselves time to do something just for themselves. And so I've been promoting the crochet and just say, do one line, one row, and that's enough to settle the mind.
It really does. It's one of those things that, as you say, because it's repetitive, it really does focus your mind as well. And it's really good for anxiety and stress and for so many other things. It's actually really good for your cognitive functions as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah,
it covers a whole lot of different things and really does help with so much. And certainly anxiety levels, depression, and all of those, it does make a huge difference with. So it's
yeah,
all about, as you say, I think it also releases those endorphins and all the rest of it. It helps just to calm you
absolutely.
down, and it just makes such a difference.
Yes, yeah. I mean, a lot of the ladies I see, well, my core confidence is for 45 plus, but then we're talking perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause as well, where, hormonally we change. And our bodies can't, with the dropping estrogen, our bodies can't cope with the stress hormone. And that's where I think crochet comes in beautifully. Plus, I think, like you said about the endorphins, and it's that little dopamine hit, isn't it, when you've done something and you think, oh yes, look at this, it's that feel good factor, and the touch of the crochet and the yarn, and there's something about that as well.
Absolutely, there's so much that goes on within that. It's
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
so much,
definitely.
so much learning to crochet, so many different things we can do from it. And I
Yeah,
think just the fact that there's so much that you can keep yourself occupied with. It's not something you learn one or two stitches and then that's you.
yeah,
There's so
yeah,
much more to it. And I think it really does, as I say, keep you really occupied, focuses your mind, and it makes such a difference in that way.
yeah. And I think, it's about that longevity thing as well, isn't it? About getting the brain working as well.
And
I'm
that is where that is so good for the likes of cognitive function and keeping
yeah,
that, because for anybody too who is less mobile,
mm,
trying to keep yourself active in whatever way you can be more difficult. So
yes,
that outlet for keeping that brain going, keeping it active, you're always learning, you're developing something. And especially when you get more confident with crochet, you can go off and you can create for yourself. And that
yeah.
makes such a difference. And it does really help you to keep that cognitive function going. And especially as we get older, that's so important.
Yes, absolutely. And, I just think you mentioned people that are more immobile and, they can't sort of go for long walks and do all this sort of thing. And this is where, with what I was thinking with the back pain and the core, it's so easy to, as long as we remember, to actually be able to work the core and reduce back pain while we are sat crocheting, you know, and that's my take on it, because it, you know, going back to the posture, it's easy to slump and sit, sort of sink into our pelvis
Yeah.
rather than lifting ourselves up. And I just think, you know, that it all blends nicely together with people who maybe can't or aren't so mobile.
So, I mean, say somebody was like so sat and couldn't really be so mobile. What was something that they could do in sort of 2 to 3 minutes that, you know, could just sort of help with all of that core sort of almost body strength and that?
Yeah.
That
So I would say just sit, if they can, with their feet grounded on the floor. So, you know, try not to have the feet up for this, but sit on the floor and making sure they sit on their sit bones. So, you know, it's easy to slump back or forwards and the back's arching. So really sit on the sit bones. And then a little test you can do is, I don't know if you can see, I've got a big woolly jumper on, but that I didn't crochet, but that you can feel your rib and your hip. So there should be a really good straight line between the ribs and the hips rather than there. So just sit up and then lift yourself up out of the pelvis. And this is a really good one, is just to put the middle fingers together just above the belly button and take a nice inhale, and my middle fingers will move apart, and exhale there. And whilst it doesn't seem like an exercise, most people breathe here. So they're
right, yeah.
And that actually is doing a lot of harm for your abdominals, your pelvic floor, and your back, and your stress levels. So when I see people, the first thing I get them to do to work their core is to sit up on those sit bones and take that breath and ensure that the breath is here rather than here. And the reason for that is, like, we're breathing into the diaphragm, which is under the ribs, and that works together with the pelvic floor. So if you imagine that's the pelvic floor and that's the diaphragm, when we inhale, it all goes down. When we exhale, it all comes up. And
Right.
then our corset muscles that wrap all the way around us come in and out. So when we breathe like that, so that's what I'd say. The first thing is to just work on the breath, nothing more than that, as well as the posture. So getting some shoulder raises. And then from there, there's little things you can do, like holding on and then leaning over and inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale, and just rotation there, just with the breath. So everything's with the breath.
Oh, that's really good. Because I think starting for somebody that 2 to 3 minutes, especially if somebody isn't more mobile, that's a good place for them to start.
Yeah. And I'd also think even people that are more mobile, sometimes if you're sat crocheting, you
Yeah.
don't want to get up and go and do some squats or, you know, do something else. You're quite happy sitting there, but a lot of time can pass and you realize you haven't moved. So to just work on the breath, sit up tall and do some rotational movement in the chair is really, really good.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. If you had a tip that you could give to your younger self, what would it be? Just out of interest about your.
My younger self, gosh, I would have said that I should have done what I'm doing now earlier, because I was a teacher. I was a music teacher, actually, and I never really liked it. But, you know, it was just what I fell into as when I was younger. And, you know, way back in my early 40s, I had all the symptoms of perimenopause and I didn't know. And I had pelvic floor problems and, you know, all sorts of issues. And, you know, I was very overweight and all this sort of thing. And I didn't know about exercise with the breath. I didn't know how important the breath was. So that, you know, that in itself is something I would have got my younger self to know about. What about you? What would you tell your younger self?
Oh, first of all, I just want to say hi to Brian, who's in the the chat, and also Chudleigh Coach, who's there too. Lovely to see you both. And if you have any questions, pop them in there and we'll see if we can get to you at any point. For myself, I think I used to obviously crochet since I was a little girl, and you sort of have that period in time, I think, when you get to your teenage years, you sort of get things like that up as well. Oh, it's Maria. Okay, hi. Yes, so it's you sort of give things up a little bit. You're sort of at that age, you sort of let it fall, and I think
Yeah.
I would have made sure I carried on. I did
Yeah.
when I was younger as well, but obviously crochet has ended up being the one that I do more often. So it's
Yes.
picked
Yeah.
up. And for me, that's certainly something that I would have made sure that I maybe just didn't let it lapse and learn more about it, which obviously as I picked it up later, I've had to learn more about it and really enjoy it. It's one of those things that, as you say, is very relaxing. But I also think I would have made sure that I did learn a little bit more about sitting and posture and everything else to make sure
Yeah.
you're not getting that pain in your shoulders or your arms or whatever when you are sitting, because that's really important. So yeah.
And I also sort of think sometimes as well, whilst I wish I had done this earlier, maybe it's good that I haven't, because my sort of life, what I've gone through myself, when I think back, has actually helped shape what I do now, because I wasn't in a good place and then I wasn't well. And as I said, that was my light bulb moment and everything changed. And I got into fitness and then got into the breath and the core. But if all that hadn't happened, if I hadn't experienced the pelvic floor issues myself and the wobbly tummy myself and the back pain, I wouldn't understand the ladies that I help now.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to say, oh yeah, do this, do that, but if you haven't experienced it and the pain that people go through with it as well, then
Exactly, yeah.
I think that helps. So
I do think you're right. I think for what you're doing, that probably really is it's really good, because you can relate to the people that actually you're teaching and training.
yeah.
Difference. And I think for myself, because I did go through that period where I didn't crochet, and then you come back to it, even when you've left it for a while, remembering the stitches, okay, and maybe it's quicker to come back,
Yeah.
but you forgot them to a certain degree, and it's not
Yes.
until you start doing them again that you actually remember them. It's like, your brain has this memory there, even if you don't remember it entirely. So when you start again, you do remember it. It's a learned thing, and that's why I always say to all you ladies that are crocheting to keep practicing, because it becomes stored memory. Your hands learn, and it's just something that you do without thinking about it. So
yeah, that's exactly the same as what I do. I mean, I'm all about like habit stacking as well.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, I think, whilst we may be like with our bodies and our minds, we want to have a change. We want less back pain. We want less pain in our shoulders and tension and all these things. It's hard to remember to actually do it for ourselves, because I think as women, we are last on the list. We look after everybody, don't we? And we work and we, do all sorts of things. And we forget about looking after ourselves sometimes. So I think if there's always I say to ladies, when you're making a cup of tea, I say, do some pelvic tilts. That's good for your core, your back, and everything. So now they've all named it tea and tilts. So, so that's like boiling the kettle means do those. And I think for me, it's the same with my crochet now. I will do my crochet, and that's like a little habit, but or something that when I go to do the crochet, I then think about my core, my breathing, and my posture.
Yeah, no, it's a good way of doing it, actually, and that's
Yeah.
something that I'm going to adopt for myself, especially the shoulder rolls and things like that. Because
shoulder rolls. I mean, another good one for crocheting as well is if you get a tennis ball and it's difficult to get it in position, but if you've got a high backed chair and put the tennis ball between your shoulder blades and just sit holding the ball in place. So that's really good as well, as long as you're not arching your back the other ways and still sitting on the sit bones. But it's all about trying to, you know, just, you know, bring the shoulders up and back and not be rounded. Because as soon as we become rounded, our breathing mechanism doesn't work.
All changes.
Yeah, yeah, everything changes. And that's why sometimes, you know, if we're sat for a long time, we then get up and we feel a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Something else I use, I'm sat on it now. I've got a posture cushion that I sit on. So I bought it because our son lives in Australia, so we have to travel to Australia. And I slump in my chair and I just, you know, it's awful that you know, the flight, it's awful. But this cushion really helps me and I sit on it a lot. So something like that is really helpful as well.
That's actually quite interesting. It's not something I thought about because I'm slightly different. I obviously come from Shetland, so it's a long way to travel up to there.
Yeah.
So your cushion could
I will get my cushion. Here it is. So it's just shaped. So it helps you. It's memory foam. So it just helps you to. I've gone shorter now, look, because I'm not sat on my cushion. But it just helps you with your posture when you're sitting for a long period of time, whether it's laptop crocheting, whatever it is. And it makes such a difference.
Yeah, no, that looks like a very interesting one because I say long journey on the train and then obviously on the boat overnight and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I just carry this. I've got my hand luggage. Most people have the neck support. I take this great big thing through with my hand luggage, but I wouldn't be without it now. So I'll send you a link.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like that. Yeah. And sorry.
Just put a link in your chat.
Yeah. Sorry, Andrew's was speaking to me there.
All right.
Distracting me.
That's all right.
Yes, anything that we've spoken about, obviously, I will put links in the description once it goes out and that sort of thing, so people can. So on. And the same school communities and so on.
Yes, yeah. But you know, I would just say to anybody out there that the way we sit and the way we breathe is the starting point for improving your overall well-being and fitness as well.
So I don't know whether you'd like to speak a little bit about school itself or because obviously that's one of the places that you are and I am, and it's certainly something that we both have in common. And I know that for myself, it's become quite a large part of what I do. It goes so well along with my crochet channel here as well. And also I have a little Etsy shop too. So it's all sort of combined and works together. And certainly I find that what I do on YouTube can come across onto the school community really well too. And what I find is that the school community itself, because you can chat in there, you can talk to each other, it's easier for people to ask you questions. They have direct access, or, you know, sort of to you quite easily to ask you something. It's easier to teach people about things. What have you found about school yourself?
Exactly the same, because as I said, I've got a studio as well. And the surprising thing that I've found is, like, I've got community with studio, my community on school, but the community on school is actually more supportive than in real life. You know, I find that my members, it's just such a nice feeling, and they will comment on each other's posts and put posts up about the snow and, you know, that they've got, and just lovely, lovely things. But you know, on the calls as well, I do a Magic Monday to set the week off right. And like, we've got a live call tomorrow about why some people age differently to others. And it just feels like you said, Caroline, it just feels like there's always that support. It's almost like it's never ending. It's that 24, you know, hours, you know, that there's somebody on there. And I absolutely love it, so much so that I'm sort of trying to step back from my studio and focus on school, because I've never been on anything online that's felt so genuine and caring.
Yeah, I think that's what I find. And I think because it is global too, you do
Yes,
have somebody on there at some point or other. So say we're not there, then somebody else can answer a question or
yeah,
else
yeah,
just have a chat, you know, and
yeah.
it makes such a difference. It really does.
Definitely, definitely, and, I think mine's become now about just overall well-being as we get a bit older. So it's for ladies 45 plus, but it's, yes, it's primarily core, pelvic floor and back and cortisol, stress hormone, but now we're just opening up a little book club, because it's like books that I've read over the time that have helped people, and, I'm hoping it will help them as well. And but there's so many little bits to it that I think there's something for so many people
Yeah.
to dip in. And, you don't have to all do the call
Oh,
on a Monday or whatever. It's just there's something in there for everybody, really.
absolutely. And I find too that I do have some members that's in there that hasn't actually started crocheting yet. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
But they are there and they're still participating, they're still encouraging, they're
yeah,
still, helping the other people out. And that's absolutely fine because they're there, they're interested, and they will start when they're ready, and that's
yeah,
absolutely okay because the community is for everybody. And we do
yeah,
have variety, probably the same for yourself. I have ones that's just beginning and ones that's been at it for a long time and crocheting for a long time. So you've got that whole experience thing in between, and one can help the other. And I just find that the whole community works so well together. It
yeah,
sort of come alive, and everybody is chatting, and it does make such a difference.
yes.
And learning really well as well. I've got one lady, bless her, that started, and literally she's now making flowers and stuff. I don't. You've probably
Oh,
seen
I saw the flowers.
big
Yes.
flowers. She's done headbands.
Yeah.
She's off doing what the latest thing was now, but she's off doing something else entirely now. But it's lovely to see.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and it's just so lovely, isn't it, when we see members just enjoying what
Yeah.
is in the community and helping each other. And it's like, from my point of view, if I see somebody like there's one lady who wrote on sort of post that I pinned to the top of the community. She was just so nervous and just, didn't do anything like this. And she's now beginning to, in her words, I think it's something like she feels the ice is shifting or something, she's feeling that shift in her overall well-being. And another lady lost 6 centimeters off her tummy. And,
Wow.
it's not all about that. It's just the how we feel. And I think with your crochet ladies, that's such a, well, I know because I'm proud of my tiny little bit
Well,
I've done.
you have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming on. It's a slow burn, but it's getting there. But it's just about helping our members to feel really good about themselves,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And
Yeah.
that's actually what I find about the platform as a whole. Everybody feels really good about themselves, and it does build people up.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be much negativity there, which is
Oh,
unusual.
no. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've tried online platforms before for what I do, and I've tried 2 platforms before, and they don't even come close to school. It's just I think if I hadn't have found school, I probably would have just given up the online, because the platforms just didn't work. It was
Mhm.
too sort of, regimented. That's the word. Yeah, regimented. And I don't want what I do to be regimented. I don't want anybody to feel this is the path you follow and you have to do this. Um, they can just be
Yeah.
more open. And I mean, I have got an area where, some ladies have got more, they want a bit more help.
Mm.
And then that's fine. I create a plan for them where they can go through to really get how, maybe it's a pelvic floor issue, prolapse or whatever, that they can feel so much better about that as well.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And that's what I think beauty is of it. I mean, I have so many different things in there from different classes and so on for people, certainly for the beginners in particular. But I know we discuss, sorry, we discuss lots of different things too, and have lots of things going on in there. And it's nice to see and see things that we have going on, which is lovely and really good fun to do too.
Yeah, it is good fun, and it's good fun for all of us. I mean, like today, my Wednesdays are Walk With Me Wednesday. So I take them on a walk with my phone with me because, you know, I say to them, that's one of the best ways to work your core and your pelvic floor and everything. But we do it in a way with the breath, and we do it with the posture, and it's just really nice to feel I'm going on a walk and they're with me.
I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah.
That is nice.
So, you know, I just think, I mean, your community, you know, that I've been in, it's just, I'm trying to rein myself in from not looking at all the stitches and everything, because I think I've just got to finish this. It's a doll's blanket for my granddaughter. So yeah, it was going to be for her first birthday, but that's come and gone. So, but you know, it's just a really good platform, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and yeah, just it's lovely to just be able to connect with so many people from all over the world.
I think that's it, and I think that you've met so many people that it really does mean that it's you're actually finding friendships among all of that too, which is really nice, and
Yeah,
you really, really do connect with,
yeah,
and it does make a
definitely.
huge difference.
Yeah,
We have quite a big Australian contingent. I think sometimes I think it's getting dark in here. Sorry, excuse me. I just suddenly realised it's getting dark in here. That's a bit better.
yeah, I can see you.
Suddenly realised I was in darkness.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I think that's it. You know, I've got Australian a lot in America, so it's nice because they'll come in at different times of day, you know, so that's really nice as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is this
yeah.
no matter what time you go on, there's always going to be somebody
There's
around.
always somebody there, yeah, which is really lovely. Although I do struggle with leaving it alone, you know, of an evening. If I'm sat with my husband and my phone pings, I'm itching to have a look.
Well, I've actually made sure I don't have it pinging, so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
when I'm not actually on, I tend to. It means I don't have to be hearing it and going on it.
yeah, yeah. No, I can't resist it. So
Although I'm on it a lot anyway. So
yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, I just think like going back to the connection, I never would have thought of the connection between core and crochet.
I know, but there's a big connection there.
Big connection, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I think
Uh,
that's why it was really nice when you talked to me about doing this first. How well it worked together. It was really nice to hear about how well it could work. So
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I do a lot of work for people as well that sit at desks, at laptops and everything, but I thought, no, it's, you know, crochet, yeah, because it's it's all about, you know, for me, it's like strength from the inside out,
yeah,
you know.
well, that's.
So
Does anybody in the chat have any questions for us at all, or for Jacqui? Doesn't look like it, but thank you for the congratulations. Thank you very much.
oh yeah, congratulations for your first live. Yeah, we did it.
We eventually, it took us a while.
It did take us a while, but you know,
I had a bit of a false start.
but yeah, it happened. So it's good, and there's people there.
It's really nice, and thank you all for coming. We do appreciate
Yes, thank you, thank you.
it. And
Oh, okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I think that we'll maybe just wrap it up there.
Okay, lovely. But thank you, Caroline.
Much appreciate it. Really appreciate you coming on, and for all the information you've given us. It's absolutely lovely. And as I say, for anybody who's interested, it will be all down below in the description. I'll make sure and I put all the links and everything so that everybody can find it. Thank you very much, Brian.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for coming, and
Thank you very much.
we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.